The issue of free speech has been a hot topic on universities and colleges across the U.S. recently, and Indiana University has not been immune. The school's stance on free speech has been called into question over its handling of encampments, canceling guest speakers, and treatment of protesters. And as Benta Boutier reports, the issue came to a head again this week after IU hosted a memorial service on campus for slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Students gathered at the Indiana Memorial Union's Alumni Hall Sunday night to mourn conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
Can we take a moment to pray for Erica?
The event was organized by IU's chapter of Turning Point USA, the nonprofit Kirk founded.
Why can we not have those options in those situations either? Because no one is inherently going out saying, I just want to kill babies. That's not anyone's point here.
Well, yeah,
it's more so the point of...
You should look at a Planned Parenthood ad. I mean, that's basically what they do.
Kirk debated students on college campuses, blending Christianity and political conservatism. He was scheduled to come to IU on October 21st for his American Comeback Tour. But instead, Republican and conservative politicians such as Attorney General Todd Rokita, Senator Todd Young, Senator Eric Koch, and Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith came to speak at IU for Kirk's vigil.
I remember him having a lot of energy. And I remember thinking, my Lord, do we need that on college campuses because they suck.
IU provided a live stream of the event, a service usually reserved for official and university-sanctioned events. The university says the stream was used for overflow attendees to watch the vigil from the Alumni Hall lobby, but it did show up on IU's events page. Security included metal detectors, IU police, and state police. At the vigil, speakers hailed Kirk's dedication to open dialogue.
As Americans, we can and should defend the ideas we believe in. But we also need to defend the ability of our opponents to express our ideas. And no one showed us how to do that better than Charlie Kirk.
Beckwith told attendees Kirk had high regard for Indiana.
He said, when I was starting this organization a decade ago, I wanted to make sure that legally I was protected. And so we found a state that we knew would protect our right to free speech.
But Indiana's dedication to free speech isn't clear-cut. Kirk's death came just a day after the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression ranked IU the worst public university for free speech, citing cancellation of controversial speakers and its handling of pro-Palestine encampments in Dunn Meadow. For David McDonald, the IU Bloomington chapter president of the American Association of University Professors, it was this and the cancellation of Palestinian painter Samia Halabi's exhibit in 2024 that marked a turning point for IU. McDonald says the university went against institutional neutrality, which he believes should be the position of public universities. He partnered with another professor to take students to Michigan State University to view the art exhibit there.
When we left for East Lansing, there was no security provided to us. No one felt there would be security necessary, but which is interesting because we were, of course, attending an art exhibition that was deemed too dangerous to take place here in Bloomington.
McDonald says the IU provost covered travel expenses for him, another faculty member, and about 60 students to see Halabi's work. But the university never explained its specific concerns for canceling an alumna's work. IU spokesman Mark Bodie would not comment on why Kirk's event scheduled for October was considered safe enough to be scheduled on campus, yet an art exhibit that eventually went off without a problem at Michigan State was considered too dangerous. Fire's report says that more than half of IU's students reported self-censoring on campus. McDonald says this doesn't surprise him, and that it's a university's job to create infrastructure for faculty and students to exchange ideas and opinions.
I actually think the university should be completely open to controversial topics and controversial speakers so long as it is a critical debate or discourse that accompanies their presence on campus. We can't simply platform ideas for the sake of the ideas themselves.
But IU's platforming of some organizations like Kirk's Vigil or Pete Buttigieg and deplatforming of others removes opportunities for dialogue.
We have not met the challenge of institutional neutrality on this campus when you have these two things happening simultaneously.
WFIU WTIU reached out to another professor who declined to interview for this story out of fear of retribution. Indiana's Attorney General asked people on social media to report educators making comments that celebrate or rationalize the death of Charlie Kirk. 2 Ball State employees have been reported, one of whom the university fired Wednesday. Another professor with Franklin College is reported. This stands in contrast to what Young says was part of Kirk's mission.
Charlie believed in this country. He believed in the strengths of this country. Much is said, I think quite appropriately, about how free and open speech was his signature cause, his signature issue. He modeled free speech on a daily basis, and it's tragic that he couldn't descend on Bloomington, Indiana, and demonstrate what free speech really looked like.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Benta Boutier.
McDonald wants to see IU adopt the Chicago Principles, which is a commitment to freedom of expression used by more than 100 colleges and universities. Purdue was one of its earliest adopters.